Okay, so now we're looking at the Paladin deck. So this is a deck which I've played quite a lot, and a lot of it is based on Glowstone Technician, which if you keep up with Hearthstone, you'll know was a 6 mana cost, and it's now 5. So that's really good. So this deck is pretty unique deck, I suppose, because no one plays quite like this. I kind of decided to create it once I got the Golden Nazari. Um, so that was pretty cool. It doesn't actually I don't use it that much. I probably like swap it out for like what's that, Siamat or that Zephyrus card or King Faris or whatever. It depends like what I view as really good. Brightwing I think is actually quite strong as well. But that's the last. But anyway, there's various. The advantage of having a golden legendary like this is that you can essentially just choose whatever legendary you want, and I will do that. I'm going to think about what class I want to play, um, within this season. So this deck is again pretty strong. Uh, we've got quite a few charging minions. There's even a bluegill warrior in there. So we've got bluegill. So looking at the charge minions, we've got Stormwind Knight, we've got the Ghostly Charger, Leroy Jenkins, and I guess you could sort of classify Chevelle as one, even though it's obviously slightly different. Same with Ziliax. And this deck is again like, I guess it's like a lot of, I don't know, I guess like maybe some of my other decks that I've shown the last few days. Um, you got a lot of card draw. We've got Acolytes of Pain, we've got Loot Hoarder as well. Annoying module. But in general, you're not going to really want to do much apart from defend your board, maybe with your Charger, or even your Bluegill Warrior sometimes, until you can get your Glowstone Technician off. And if you can't do that, you may need to rely on a Shrink Ray as well. But yeah, in general, you'll be able to do something early game. The Peacekeeper, obviously, sort of classic card to use. Good for those, those mechs that are getting to ridiculous levels a little bit too early. Ideally, you want to do High Priest Thakal as early as possible. To be honest, I joke about Nazari, but in fact, Nazari has saved me multiple times. So yeah, Nazari is always a good card to get there. But Nazari will of course. The thing is, you need to restore 10 health with to get the Zandalari Templar out. Now, obviously, you can get 10. Very often you get a 10/10 out of that with the Technician as well, right? And with the Technician, things like Ghostly Charger becomes a 5/6, and the Storm becomes a 4/7. So that's why it works so well, because it controls the board and you can charge with it or rush with it, which is when you're trying to control the board. It's the same thing really. Kangor as well can get you very nice very nice amount of health back. Especially when you combo Kangor with Ziliax. So if that's a 5/4, you're getting 10 health back, which is pretty handy because that's exactly what you need, right? So there can be a huge shift in that respect. Now with Chevelle, I often actually thought about not including it because normally Chevelle works, but there was a very popular deck which is one turn kill. Was it one turn or 2 turns? I can't remember. But anyway, you would do Holy Wrath and you would do Baleful Banker on it. So that used to be. I used to actually run that deck myself actually. But yeah, it's not that easy to get Chevelle out. So we've got in total we've got 8 and then another 18, 22 in total. So yeah, so that would be 3. So yeah, I think that means you have to play the it means you have to play the Lay on Hands. I think that's right. 10, 10, 14. Is that all I've got? The 14 in the spells, yeah. So I'd have to play the Lay on Hands, but beyond that, you do have a few options because that will get you down to 17. So you didn't have to play 2 of the other 3. I think I'm right in saying that. So it is a late game, but that is Chevelle. That should be a late game, right? Maybe I could have some more. I do wonder if like Avenging Wrath could be in here as well. Got Mind Control Tech. The Noir module very good when it's buffed as well. But yeah, Leroy is a good finisher. Can also be 7 attack as well. There's lots of good way. I think I somehow managed to get this guy to 11. I'm trying to think how on earth I managed to do that. But I just have a feeling that I did manage to get into 11 once. Maybe it was only 10. But yeah, if you hold on, you can. But yeah, but I mean that's like a pretty strong finisher, right? And also if you happen to have like, it depends, right? You can get like there's ways to get to build up like your amazing cards, because there's not many cards. Like obviously there's that Warlock card that will transform any card in your hand to a random, or like what's it like? There's a few cards like Hecklebot or Dirty Rat that could basically mess up your hand. Well, Hecklebot I think draws, but anyway, the point is there's a few cards that could mess things up for you. But in general, the whole concept of building up your hand for a powerful finish is pretty viable, right? Because there's not that many. I mean, outside Warlock, I can't really think of too much that's actually going to. Well, I guess there's swap your hand for your opponent's hand, which is Togwaggle, I believe. Oh no, that's swap your deck. Yeah, there's certain things that I think there may be a swap your hand for your opponent's hand. I can't remember the card for that now, but there are various things, of course, that could do that. But in general, you could build up a very strong hand. You could get this to, I've certainly had this, be a 6 attack. So yeah, it's 6/5. So people are not going to be expecting a 6/5 Bluegill Warrior, that's for sure. So if you feel that the board not, 'cause the thing is, if you feel that the board isn't too well, and now and a lot of the new stuff, it's not that contested. It's not like really fast. It's not really fast. So you could just build this up to a 6/5. And, you've got the Leroy at 10, and you're just doing 16 damage along with whatever you got on the board at the time. So you never really know what could happen in that respect. Tyrion as well. Often, it's about drawing the opponent into enough, right? And playing Peacekeeper at useful times as well, and the Consecrate, same sort of thing. Mind Control Tech. So there's a few of those cards that are just there. Mind Control Tech, Consecrate, Peacekeeper. They're just there to like hold and shrink ray as well. To keep in the game, and then you can see what you can do later on. But yeah, that's about all for this one. So goodbye.